All right, let's try this one more time. Otherwise, I'm giving up. So kids, I have tried making this video a few different times, and then my dog starts barking, my husband's phone goes off, and then he's talking in the background, and I'm just trying to teach math to you guys. So let's move forward, shall we? Get out this packet. 7th grade curriculum percents, unit 3. This number is your standard that we're working on. A standard is something that I agree with the state of Illinois, saying that this is what you guys will understand how to do, and I will cover it and teach it. That way, once you master it or you understand it a little better, then you can move on to the next standard and eventually graduate the 7th grade. In case you were ever wondering what these were, these are called standards. Okay, so if you open it up to the first page, yes, I know some of the classes I had already done this page with you, but it never hurts to review, especially after the long weekend. So if we take a look at the first page, I tried my best to emulate, and I transcribed the first portion onto my whiteboard. Now, is it perfect? No, but it will get the job done. Okay, so let me move my little word bank out of the way. And let's try to focus in. There we go. So if you haven't done so already, open that booklet up, your package, your packet, whatever you call it, to this first page. And you can see there are the fill in the blanks. And I did the same thing here. So, a proportion is a term. Now, some of you asked me the other day what a term means. A term is a definition. So what is the term, or you can say what is the definition used when there are, and I don't want to smudge this with my big old hands, 2 equal ratios. When there are 2 equal ratios. Proportions can be used to solve for missing pieces of information. Okay. Information. And I'll try to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see that. I-N-F-O-R-M-A-T-I-O-N. Information. So we have proportion and ways to solve proportions. So again, 2 ratios, information, proportion, ways to solve proportions, scaling, cross multiplication. Okay, so these are the different ways that we can use to solve. We can draw pictures, we can draw diagrams, we can also use my favorite, which is cross multiplication. So if we look, let's read the instructions. Use the image below to predict how many pairs of goggles and how many life jackets the surf shop should order. So here we go. I drew my life jackets. Now I know they kind of look like whale tails or really messed up hearts, but let's just use our imaginations and pretend that these are surf jackets. Yes, I know goggles also, 7th graders, they don't look exactly like this, but hey, this is my representation for goggles. So again, use your imagination. I know they look more like glasses, but the first question says, life jackets to goggles. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a bar. Okay? And we can call this a fraction bar, a proportion bar, but just set up a bar. And we're gonna figure out how many jackets there are to goggles. So let's put J up top and G for goggles on the bottom. That equals, how many jackets do we have? If you answered 8, you're correct. So I'm gonna put 8 jackets, make your fraction bar. And how many goggles do we have? If your answer is 6, you are also correct. But here's the deal. There's common factor. There's a greatest common factor, or common factor, okay? What does that mean? These both can be reduced by a term. What term can it be reduced by? Well, what we know is 8 and 6, they're both even numbers. Every single even number in the entire universe can be divided by the powerful number 2. So let's just check it out. Piece of plastic junk. Draw your bar. 2 times something gives me 6. 2 times what gives me 6? 3. 3 times 2 equals 6. 2 times something gives me 8. If you guessed 4, you're correct. So for every 3 pairs of goggles, you're going to have 4 jackets. I'll say that again. For every 3 pairs of goggles, you're going to have 4 jackets. Or we could say for every 4 jackets, you are going to have 3 goggles. So if you have 4 friends, he's going to get a jacket, she'll get a jacket, he'll get a jacket, she'll get a jacket, but only these 3 up here are going to get goggles. I know, so not fair. So how do we write this on our paper? So in the little box that you guys have, I'm going to go ahead and erase this. So in the box, just going to erase this. You can write 4, 2, 3. You can write 4 over 3. Or you can write 4 to 3. Okay. So just pick the one that you're most comfortable with. You guys have seen fractions almost all your life. So maybe fractions are easier for you to write down, but either way, on a quiz, on your homework, any one of these 3 ways to express the proportion is a-okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and just erase this, okay? So it says goggles to total. Goggles to total. So we're on number 2, okay? The big important word here is total. So I told the other classes to take your highlighter, take your pencil, and you are going to underline this word total. And we're working in the box, by the way. I don't have the box drawn here, but for all intents of purposes, we're going to pretend that this is my box, okay? So goggles to total. Now remember, we have 4 over 3. So if we have 4 jackets and 3 goggles, what does 4 plus 3 equal? What does 4 plus 3 equal? 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So we have a total number of 7. So we're talking total, we mean the total between jackets and goggles, right? So we have 4 jackets and 3 goggles. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? But out of the total, out of this entire jackets and goggles, how many of the 7 is goggles? So if I have 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, what is my number that represents goggles? Is it the 4 or is it the 3? Well, remember, we have 3 pairs of goggles. So we're going to write 3 over 7. That is our answer. Again, we could write 3, 2, 7. We could write 3, 7. Or the easiest one, in my opinion, just because you've seen it the most, 3 over 7. Okay. Again, I'm going to erase this. Okay. So, number 3 reads, if 39 pairs of goggles are ordered, how many life jackets should be ordered? So, we're going to go back to number 1, where we said that there are 8 jackets and there are 6 pairs of goggles. So again, just on your side, I would write J over G. The J stands for jackets. The G stands for goggles. Okay, we just want to keep this nice and organized, or you could write a little J here and a little G here. Okay, J and G, especially for you guys, or even me, Mrs. Neubauer, this is kind of, J and G always throw me off because they sound so much alike, J and G. So J is jackets, G is goggles. Okay? And we're going to say that is equal to something over something. Well, let's go back to the question. If 39 pairs of goggles, do you guys see that? 39 pairs of goggles. 39 belongs to goggles. Where do we put the 39? Do we put it with the jackets or do we put it with the goggles? If you answered goggles, you're correct. You put the 39 with the goggles. If 39 pairs of goggles are ordered, how many life jackets should be ordered? Life jackets? Question mark. We don't know, right? So I'm going to write an X. Because I don't know how many life jackets should be ordered. All right? So let's go ahead and we're going to do my favorite thing, which is cross. Oh, excuse me, I just bumped my camera. I want to get a different color. My favorite thing in the world, which is cross multiplication. And I bumped the camera again. I'm so sorry. Now, here's what we need to do first. We're going to take the 39 and the 8, and I'm going to multiply those two together. 39 times 8. 8 times 9, 72. 8 times 3, 24, plus 7, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. 312. Now we have a leftover. Do you guys see what my leftover is? I'm going to take another dry erase marker and underline it just for you. We have 6. 6 is left over, right? So I'm going to take 312 or I should say 312 because it's not and 12. It's just 312 divided by 6. Did you know every time, like I mess up, a lot of teachers mess up, you never want to say 300 and or 101 because and implies that it's a decimal. That's just a little sidetrack. So if you say 100.1, or I'm sorry, that's 10.1. When you say 101, you say 101. That's what it really means. So correct me if I ever do that. So 312 divided by 6. 6 goes into 31 how many times? Well, 6 can go into 30 how many times? 5. Bring down my 30, bring down my 1, bring down my 2. 6 can go into 12 2 times. We need to order 52 jackets. So X equals 52 jackets. You see that? Okay. I'm going to erase this. Hopefully the color comes off nice and easy for me. As I'm shaking my camera, shake, shake, shake. Okay. So now we are looking at problem number 4. If 30 sets of goggles are ordered, how many total, here's my word again, total, items should the surf shop order? So how many goggles are ordered? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? There's, oops, I went a little crazy and erased some of my numbers. I'm just gonna put those back. So the first thing is we have the word total again. Total means we're going to add all of this together. We're going to combine the jackets and we're going to combine the goggles together. So just put them all together. So 8 plus 6 is what? So again, I'm just going to write, that's a really big line. I'm going to write G and T. G is for goggles, T is for total. So what is my total number of merchandise? Meaning, what is my total number of jackets and what is my total number of goggles? So 8 plus 6 equals 14. Do I put that on the goggle side or the total side? Yeah, we're gonna put that on my total side. So I'm gonna put 14T, just to keep it nice and organized. And we are looking for, if 30 sets of goggles are ordered, how many items should the surf shop order? We are looking for goggles. So how many goggles do we have? 6. So make our equal to, make another proportion sign, and it is 30 sets. And some of you right now are asking me, Mrs. Neubauer, where did you get that 30? Right here. If 30 sets of goggles are ordered, 30 sets of goggles are ordered, how many total items should the surf shop order? Well, we don't know. We don't know what T is going to equal now, or X, XT. So we are going to multiply the two numbers together, 30 and 14. 30 times 14. And then we're going to divide it by using 6. So 30 times 14 would give me 420, or 420. See, there I go again using the and. Okay, sorry, my camera died there for a second. So it's 420 divided by, and we're going to divide the number that is crossed from the variable, okay? So 420 divided by 6 equals, 6 can go into 420, 70 times, okay? So our answer is going to be, can you guys guess what our answer is going to be? Our total number is going to be 70. So I'm just going to erase this. X equals 70. All right? You just, 6 goes into 42, 7 times, bring down the 0. $70. Okay? So if you made it this far, good job. I appreciate it. Give me a second. I'm going to shut the camera off. I'm going to erase this whiteboard, and we're going to move on to question number 5. Okay. So question number 5 says, Edgar played a quiz game in which he answered 15 questions and got 3 incorrect. At this rate, buzzword rate, how many questions should Edgar expect to answer correctly if his total, there's that word again, total of 405, if he answers a total of 405 questions? So we need to set up our proportion. So we're looking for total and questions that he has gotten incorrect. So I and T, okay? That's not very well written. Incorrect over total, okay? So that equals, how many questions did he answer? He answered 15 questions total. So total, he answered 15 questions. How many did he get incorrect? Another word for incorrect would be wrong. So he got 3 incorrect. He got 3 wrong. That equals something over something. We're looking for total. How many total items, how many, if he answered a total of 405 questions. Total of 405 questions. It tells you, total 405 questions. We don't know at this moment how many he's going to get incorrect, or how many, I should say, he's going to get wrong. First thing I'm going to do is I'm taking a different color, this pretty green color, and I'm going to say 3 multiplied by 405. 405 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 0 is 0. Add a 1. 3 times 4 is 12. I wrote that kind of weird. Let me just. So 1,215. Then, whatever the number that is diagonal to the variable is what we are going to be dividing against. So then we have 15. 15 divided by or I should say 1,215 divided by 15 equals 1 sec, I want to make sure I did this right, equals 81. Yep. So when you divide these together, that gives you 81. So he will have approximately, or he'll have 81 incorrect answers. But if he, let's just say 405 questions total, subtract 81, because right now you're saying, wow, 81 questions wrong, that's a lot. But remember, he took a test of 405 questions. So I'm going to change the 4 into a 3, make this into a 10. Now I changed it to a 9 because I have to regroup it. 15 minus 1 is, oh, I don't know why I did that. 5 is bigger. See, even teachers make mistakes, and I make plenty of them. 405 minus 81. 4, regroup. 10 minus 8 is 2. So he will have 324 correct answers. And yes, I want you to write all that down. Okay, so I'll give you a minute. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and erase. It's kind of a lot of, there's kind of a lot on our first page. So let's go ahead and flip to page number 2. Okay. And this says a blank can also be set up as a proportion. And if we're filling in the blank, we're going to say a something can also be set up as a proportion. A something can also be set up as a proportion. The answer is rate. R-A-T-E. Rate. 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 Now our directions say, use the information about rate of each vehicle to answer the question. So the first thing I want to ask you, oh, excuse me, and I just hit my tripod again with my big old feet. Now, I know all of you at some point have seen this street sign. Even if you don't drive, and you shouldn't be driving because you're only in 7th grade. But if you see this sign, it says 25 mph. That means 25 miles an hour. So that means the car will drive 25 miles for every 1 hour. So if you're in the car, not like every one, like isn't like everyone, but every one. There we go. Every 1 hour. Not like nosotros, but like every 1 single unit hour. So that means when you're driving in the car, uninterrupted, meaning there's no stops, you're just going the single rate, do, 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 uninterrupted for 1 hour, you are going to go 25 miles, as long as that car is set at 25 miles. Now that would be true if the car is going 50 miles an hour. The car will drive 50 miles for every 1 hour. Okay? I think you guys kind of understand that. Okay. Number 6, following along in your packet, and it says, use the information about rate of each vehicle to answer the question. What is the rate of the moped? All right, the moped, which if you look, this is my problem with this clip art. This is not a moped. This is clearly a bicycle because look, this has it looks like a pedal. This is not what mopeds look like. This is a bicycle. But let's move on, talk more about math. It says 30 miles per hour. The question, what is the rate of the moped? Guys, this is really simple. It's 30 miles per 1 hour. That is it. What is the rate? It's only going to go 30 miles for every 1 stinking hour. 30 miles per 1 hour. Let's look at number 7. What is the rate of the bus? It is 55 miles per every 1 hour. That simple, very simple. Okay, those are your 2 answers. 30 miles per 1 hour and 55 miles per 1 hour. Number 8. How many hours will it take the moped to travel 217.5 miles? 217.5 miles. All right, so what do we know? We're going to use miles, and we're going to use hours. All right, so let's just fill in what we know. How many miles will it take the moped to travel 217.5 miles? Well, we know that we have 1 hour and our moped travels at 30 miles per 1 hour. 30 miles per 1 hour. And that is equal to, how many miles are we traveling? 217 and a half. As 0.5 means half. And we don't know how many hours it's going to take. So make an X. Multiply 1 times 217.5. Well, anything times 1 is going to give us the same value. Then we have to divide it by 30. Okay. So 217.5 divided by 30. I'm using my calculator, so don't think I'm brilliant. Just to save some time, that gives me 7.25. 7.25. 7.25 what? Seven and a quarter hours. Okay. 7.25 hours. All right. So our next one, now we're going to do the same thing, miles and hours. Set up our proportions. How many miles will the bus travel in 4.5 hours? So we know the answer is 1, and it's 55 miles per hour. So 55 miles for every 1 hour. The bus is traveling at 4.5 hours. We don't know how many miles. Again, we're going to cross multiply the numbers that are across from each other. Okay, so numbers go with numbers. 55 times 4.5. And again, I'm just going to use my calculator, save some time, because Mrs. Neubauer can't do numbers in her head at this point. So it's going to be 247.5. And then we have to divide that number by 1. Now this one I can do in my head. What is 1 divided by 247.5? My answer is 207.5. So the bus is going to travel, or I should say x equals 247.5 miles. Okay. Okay. Last one. Last questions. Last questions. Number 10. A small university enrolls in-state and out-of-state students. The number of students enrolled in their most recent freshman class was 214. The school reported that it enrolled 7th in-state students for every 2 out-of-state students. How many type of students was enrolled freshman class? Freshman class, this is kind of a hard question just because some of you might not know what a freshman is. Freshman means your first year of university or college. Okay? How many of you right now are just going, I would skip this? I don't blame you. I was that student too. However, this is totally solvable and I'll help you. So the first thing is there's a section that says, I know. I know. What do we know? We know that total students are 243. We know in-state is 7 and out of state is 2. And yes, I want you guys to be writing this down in this little box. Okay? What we don't know, or I need to know, is how many types, or how many of each type of students was enrolled freshman in the freshman class. So how many types were enrolled in the freshman class? So write that down. How many types were enrolled in the freshman class? Okay, so let's work this out. We have in-state, which would be 7/9 equals x over 243. Out-of-state would be 2/9 is equal to x over 243. Okay? Cross multiply, then divide by 9. Cross multiply, divide by 9. We have x equals 189 and x equals 54. Solution. So now in this little spot here, my solution, 189 in-state students, 54 out of state students. And that's it. Now, if you have any questions, please come to my desk and I will help you. I know I kind of went through the last one pretty fast, but I think you guys caught on with the cross multiplication and division. So wherever the x or the variable is, that's the number you're dividing. So any questions, please come up to me and I can help you. Bye guys. Oh, and your homework is going to be the page that says homework, percents homework.